Fellas, what's good? We're back with another one. You know, what can I say, fellas? We're going back to synergy. We're gonna be, I'm happy. I'm not gonna lie. Just bottom line, I'm happy. We're going back to synergy. Me and the lady. I'm not gonna lie. The other gym we were at was, pretty bottom of the barrel. Not well maintained. A lot of equipment broken. You know what I mean? So I kind of had it after a while, and I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I wasn't getting gains, if not losing gains, if I'm not gonna lie, because to like also set up the weights and all that stuff, like there's mismatched weights and stuff, so you had to make sure you're getting the right plate and all, just so much extra stuff that you would never have to do at a normal gym, you know what I mean? But either way, I mean, it was nice to use steel plates there, but like that was like the only nice thing, you know what I mean? Because I really haven't been to a gym with steel plates, but either way, definitely wasn't like a nice fit. Definitely not for my needs. So we're going back to synergy, and I'm excited for that. I mean, you guys know, it's been my home forever. You know what I mean? So hey, we're back home. You know what I mean? I'm gonna call this a warm welcoming home. There we go. Warm welcoming home. But either way, fellas, we're gonna go catch a lift. I'll catch you guys on the flip when I get to the gym. Alrighty, fellas. So we got coming in here, nice little incline dumbbell press, 3 sets with 10 reps. Coming out pretty dang strong. You know what I mean? Between this or bench pressing is really, I feel like a good way to start off a good lift. You know what I mean? Especially like, maybe you should warm up individual muscles before you get into like more of a compound movement. But something about, coming in and just hitting that compound movement right off the bat, to me, has always just felt so good. Then we come over here, we got the preacher curls, 777. Been a minute since we've done this and brought the 777 ladder back, but hey, here it is, 3 sets. 7 full, 7 half, and then 7 partials at the end to just squeeze out the muscle. That's one thing you gotta really be, emphasizing. I feel like, the squeeze on this especially. And like, with that being said, not only do you gotta emphasize that squeeze, especially towards the end here, but like, that's the part that I feel like is building the most muscle, actually, because them little 7 that you pump out there at the end are just like the most excruciating burning 7 out of the whole thing. Like, the full range of motion ain't even really that bad. But then we come over here, we got the upper chest press. We did that for 3 sets of 10. Sorry, I was rambling. But then we come over here, we're on the pec deck, 3 sets with 10-second hold at the end. That's one thing I may be switching up pretty soon on this one, especially. I've always been doing this 10-second at the end. I think I'm going to start doing the 10-second hold at the beginning. Change it up a little bit, but it's nice to rep it out and then have the burn at the end. But I'm almost thinking, building muscle, almost maybe burn it first and then, chip away at it, So, it doesn't really matter where you do that 10-second hold, but I was going to be flipping it around probably pretty soon. I've been thinking about it. But then here we are in the bicep pull down, 3 sets, 10 reps. As you can tell today, obviously it's been a chest and bi day. I don't know if I said that, but, either way, coming in strong. Sorry. Did not mean to stutter, but no, just a little congested up. But either way, come over here with the lower chest press, 3 sets of 10. I know, like, realistically, there's not all different chest presses, but hitting them at these different angles really helps develop all around the chest. But then we come over here, what we did, normal curls to start off the lift, and then we're finishing off with hammer curls. I hate to do 2 types of curls in one workout, but today that's just how it fell. Especially, I needed one more bicep workout, I felt like, to round off the workout. But either way, I was feeling amazing after this workout. Like I said, I've been kind of feeling like I haven't really been myself ever since I left Synergy. But now that I come back, definitely feeling that full array of being myself again. I mean, look at just right there from the chest
the six pack. I mean, even on the bulk, the six pack's kind of like still there, low key. It's just kind of like, you know, pissing me off, but kind of not. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't know if I'm bulking hard enough, or I should, should be bulking harder. I don't know. Kind of messed this pose up a little bit. Should have got that elbow back a little bit more, just to bring, the wideness around. Really didn't show much of my back bicep, but hey, whatever. For the most part, posing's been good, great. I'm kind of getting a little routine down as well with the way I like to pose, kind of transition. But hey, either way, we've come a long ways even in the posing aspect. But right now I'm just happy to be back to the lifts.
Alrighty, fellas, and we're back home. We just chilling, and what a great lift. I'm not gonna lie, feeling good, feeling great. Got a very, very, very great lift, hard felt lift. That I haven't felt in a little while. I'm not gonna lie. So I think definitely. I don't want to say maybe lost gains, but definitely didn't gain nothing at being at black belt. I'll say that. I maybe maintained what I got. I'm not gonna lie, because today is synergy. The weights were feeling heavy, but I was still doing the same weight that I used to do. You know what I mean? But like in my head, that's kind of playing a little trick on me, like thinking, I don't know, maybe I got a little weaker. I'm not too sure. You know what I mean? But either way, folks, we're back, we're better, and I'm feeling great. Not a new gym, but just coming home, and finally, not coming home, but like coming home to the gym, to the home gym, the capital, it just feels so much better, just to be back in that gym, just the vibes, it's just a better gym, bottom line. But, when it comes to getting them gains, nonetheless, everything's going good, going great. I feel amazing. Just a feeling that I haven't felt like a hard-fought workout like I do usually, you know what I mean? But either way, fellas, what a great lift, nonetheless, can't wait to keep shooting more videos, you know what I mean? It's synergy. But fellas, you made it this far, please leave a like, subscribe, I appreciate it. As always, stay hustling, stay grinding, stay focused. Peace out. See you guys in the next one.